What gives?
A women's basketball player. She deserves it. She deserves it.
It's hard to believe, but after months of silence, Nike has finally issued an apology to Caitlin Clark. They did it in a big way, through a massive advertisement displayed all over the Indiana Fever Arena. The ad featured none other than Caitlin Clark herself, the record-breaking WNBA star who's been unstoppable on the court. It seems like the perfect resolution, right? Not so fast. Nike's response has stirred up more questions than answers.
NBA, yes. Do I think if A'ja Wilson dropped a shoe and Caitlin Clark dropped a shoe today at the very same time, that Caitlin Clark would outsell A'ja's shoe by 100 times? Yes, I think that.
Let's rewind a bit before diving into the details. Caitlin Clark, one of the biggest stars in basketball today, signed a massive 8-year endorsement deal with Nike worth $28 million. You'd think they'd be showcasing her everywhere, leveraging her talent and success to promote their brand. But surprisingly, Nike has been unusually quiet.
Has come and gone. And with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials. We have not seen any ads. We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise. And we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin.
Here's a full rewritten version of your script, keeping it engaging, straightforward, and human sounding. Caitlin Clark was on fire during her rookie season in the WNBA, breaking records, dominating the game, and drawing millions of fans to watch her play. But despite all the hype and excitement around her, Nike seemed to forget about her completely. There were no ads, no commercials, no new sneakers, nothing. It was as if they had forgotten they signed one of the biggest names in basketball. Fans started to question why Nike wasn't supporting their own star. This wasn't just a small mistake. It felt like Caitlin was being ignored by Nike, even though she was making history. Fans couldn't understand why a brand like Nike, known for staying ahead of trends, was so slow to act, and then, just as things were heating up, Adidas stepped in. Rumors started circulating that Adidas, the biggest sports brand in the world, was considering offering Caitlin a $30 million deal after realizing what a huge opportunity they were missing. Can you imagine? Nike, the leader in basketball, losing one of the best players in the game to their competitor? Things were about to get very interesting. The real shocker, though, is that all of this unfolded while Caitlin was breaking records, becoming the first rookie in WNBA history to post a triple-double in steals and minutes played. And despite her explosive growth, Nike had still not launched a signature shoe, any big advertising campaigns, or even recognized her achievements in any meaningful way. It didn't make sense. Nike has decades of experience in promoting athletes, so why weren't they treating Caitlin like the superstar she is? When LeBron James entered the NBA, Nike had a signature shoe ready for him from day one. Why wasn't Caitlin getting the same treatment? Some have speculated that Nike was more focused on promoting other athletes like A'ja Wilson, who's already well established in women's basketball. But that doesn't hold water. Why couldn't they promote both? And here's the strangest part. Caitlin's $28 million contract was supposed to include her own signature shoe, but there have been no updates, no release dates, nothing. Rumor has it that her sneaker might not even drop until 2026. In the world of sports, 2026 feels like a lifetime away. By then, Caitlin could break even more records, and Nike will have missed a chance to capitalize on her star power. This all raises a big question. Was Nike's apology, shown by a massive banner of Caitlin Clark at the Indiana Fever Arena, genuine? Or is it just damage control after realizing that Adidas was sniffing around? From the outside, it looks like Nike only started caring about Caitlin once they saw their competitor interested. That doesn't seem like an apology. It seems like a last-ditch effort to save face, but here's the thing. Caitlin Clark isn't just another basketball player. She's a phenomenon. She led all rookies in assists and points, posted a triple-double, and her games attracted millions of viewers. She's a once-in-a-generation talent. So, why wasn't Nike marketing her like the superstar she is? Nike's silence on Caitlin's signature sneaker and their lack of major promotional efforts show how they failed to take full advantage of her potential. Adidas, on the other hand, saw her value right away and was ready to back her with a $30 million offer. Adidas understood that Caitlin wasn't just a great player. She's a brand in herself. Nike dropped the ball, and now they're scrambling to catch up. Caitlin deserves so much more than a banner. She deserves the kind of marketing and recognition that big brands like Nike should be known for. This situation is bigger than just one athlete. It highlights a larger problem in sports: the way female athletes are treated compared to their male counterparts. Women's sports are growing, and brands need to catch up to that. So now, the question remains: will Caitlin stay with Nike or take the $30 million offer from Adidas? Whatever happens, Caitlin's future is incredibly bright, and fans are watching closely to see which brand steps up to support her. Nike can't afford to just sit back and hope this banner is enough. Caitlin Clark is a superstar, and she deserves to be treated like one. That I am the world of sports. 2026 feels like a lifetime away. By then, who knows how many more records Caitlin Clark will have broken. From the start, Caitlin's fans were vocal, questioning why Nike wasn't putting her front and center. Social media buzzed with criticism, and analysts couldn't understand why Nike hadn't seized this huge opportunity. It wasn't just about selling shoes. It was about recognizing potential. Unfortunately, Nike dropped the ball. Enter Adidas. They saw Caitlin's star power and stepped in with a big offer, not just in terms of money, but in their belief in her as a player and a brand. They knew she was a game changer. Adidas understood what Caitlin brought to the table, and they didn't want to miss out. Meanwhile, Nike seemed to miss the boat until they finally put up a huge banner of Caitlin at the Indiana Fever Arena. But will that be enough to keep her from signing with Adidas? Only time will tell. This situation raises some serious questions about how major brands treat women's sports. Are they genuinely invested, or is it all talk when their male counterparts? Women's sports are growing, and brands need to catch up to that. So now, the question remains: will Caitlin stay with Nike or take the $30 million offer from Adidas? Whatever happens, Caitlin's future is incredibly bright, and fans are watching closely to see which brand steps up to support her. Nike can't afford to just sit back and hope this banner is enough. Caitlin Clark is a superstar, and she deserves to be treated like one. I am the world of sports. 2026 feels like a lifetime away. By then, who knows how many more records Caitlin Clark will have broken. From the start, Caitlin's fans were vocal, questioning why Nike wasn't putting her front and center. Social media buzzed with criticism, and analysts couldn't understand why Nike hadn't seized this huge opportunity. It wasn't just about selling shoes. It was about recognizing potential. Unfortunately, Nike dropped the ball. Enter Adidas. They saw Caitlin's star power and stepped in with a big offer, not just in terms of money, but in their belief in her as a player and a brand. They knew she was a game changer. Adidas understood what Caitlin brought to the table, and they didn't want to miss out. Meanwhile, Nike seemed to miss the boat until they finally put up a huge banner of Caitlin at the Indiana Fever Arena. But will that be enough to keep her from signing with Adidas? Only time will tell. This situation raises some serious questions about how major brands treat women's sports. Are they genuinely invested, or is it all talk when it's convenient? This isn't just about one player or one deal. It's a larger issue about the way female athletes are supported and promoted compared to their male counterparts. Caitlin Clark is a shining example of the untapped potential in women's sports. Nike needs to wake up to that or risk losing her and everything she represents. To Adidas, Adidas wasn't waiting around while Nike stayed silent. They saw an opportunity and jumped on it, with rumors suggesting they offered Caitlin a $30 million deal. It wasn't just about money. They knew Caitlin was drawing huge attention to the WNBA, breaking viewership records and bringing in millions of fans. Adidas recognized Caitlin's influence, and they didn't want Nike to dominate the market without a fight. While Nike dragged their feet, Adidas moved fast. What's even more significant is the rise of women's sports. Caitlin Clark's success showed the world that women's basketball could draw just as much attention as the men's game. Her games were breaking records, her jersey sales soared, and fans flocked to see her play. Nike had seen this kind of hype before, with male athletes like LeBron James, but they didn't act quickly enough with Caitlin. Was it internal politics or just plain oversight? Whatever it was, they missed a golden opportunity. Fans didn't hold back. They questioned Nike's commitment to women's sports, calling them out for ignoring Caitlin's rise. Enter Adidas, who saw the gap and moved in with an impressive $30 million offer. They weren't just trying to outbid Nike. They wanted to show they were serious about investing in women's sports. Adidas recognized Caitlin's potential, not just as a player, but as a brand. They understood the long-term benefits of supporting her. Caitlin's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. Her performances attracted over 1 million viewers per game, a record for the league. She wasn't just breaking records. She was elevating women's basketball to a new level of popularity. Nike should have recognized this sooner, but it took Adidas to step in before Nike finally made a move. They've only put up a banner so far, and while it's nice, it's not enough. Where's the marketing campaign? Where's Caitlin's signature shoe? Nike has a superstar on their roster, but they've done little to promote her. This isn't just about Caitlin. It highlights a much bigger issue: the inequality in how women's sports are treated compared to men's. If a male athlete had Caitlin's season, there would be commercials, endorsements, and promotions everywhere. But Caitlin, despite her massive success, was overlooked. Why? Is it because women's sports don't get the same respect? Or is it that brands like Nike don't know how to market female athletes the same way they do male ones? Caitlin's story shows that women's sports are on the rise, and brands that don't recognize that will get left behind. Adidas has already noticed and is making a move, while Nike is playing catch-up. If Nike wants to keep Caitlin, they need to step up, show real support, and invest in her the way Adidas is willing to. Fans have been vocal, and they won't forget how Caitlin was treated. The debate has sparked a larger conversation about how women's sports are marketed and promoted. Social media has been full of support for Caitlin, and fans want to see her in ads, campaigns, and yes, with a signature shoe. Caitlin Clark is a prime example of the talent and star power in women's sports, and she's not the only one. There are plenty of female athletes who deserve the same recognition. So, will Caitlin stay with Nike, or will she make the switch to Adidas? We'll have to wait and see. But one thing is certain: Caitlin Clark's future is bright, and whichever brand lands her will have a superstar in their corner. Nike, however, better hope that banner isn't their last move. Caitlin Clark is too big of a star to be overlooked any longer. What do you think? Is Nike's huge banner an apology, or just a last-ditch effort to keep Caitlin from signing with Adidas? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on the latest sports stories. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.